So the film I chose for this assignment was Bless Me Ultima. This movie was about a boy named Antonio. He was about like 3rd grade age. And then this took place around the time of like World War II. So he had 3 older brothers out in the war, and there was like a lot of conflict going on. And then the central focus or issue of this film is, I think it's Antonio's struggle figuring out who he is while being pulled in different directions by different members of his family and community and religion, because he's being pulled from like kind of like formal religion and education to more like, not formal, but like colonized, I think would be a better word, to compared to like indigenous like religion and like education about like the world around him. And then I think one of the Chicana's experience that this film represents is the spiritual connection that many people in the Chicana community, like myself, have by representing the blend of Catholic traditions as well as indigenous spiritual practices and beliefs. So connections to Chicana studies and concepts are, one would be family, gender roles, and masculinity. This movie shows a really big like split between Antonio's family. His father's side, the Marezes, are cowboys who like they want to be like free and like independent, which is similar to like how his brothers are and how his dad is. And then on his mother's side, oh my legs are still. And then on his mother's side, the Lunas, they're farmers and very like family oriented, and they value like education and religion. And like that part of the family, they want him to like, they're like, oh Antonio, like, are you gonna be a priest, or oh, you're gonna be a scholar? And then that kind of ties into like the schooling education concept, because Antonio, even in his education, he has like 2 different types of education, as he is going to like traditional schooling and learning English and everything, as well as like going to church and learning about Catholicism. But then he's also learning a lot about the world around him and more spiritual, like indigenous beliefs from Ultima. And then there's also a lot of resistance being shown through the character Ultima, because the townspeople and like a lot of the people that, like the churchgoers, I guess, they're like, oh, she's like brujeria, like she's a witch, she's bad, she's evil, but really she's just like practicing her traditional like healing methods, which is called like, I think it's curandera, I think it was called, is what she is. And then she resists the idea that like what she's doing is wrong and evil, and when really she's just trying to help like the community and like heal them, which is like so wrong, because in the movie literally she helps so many people and then they end up turning on her, and it's just like, oh, she literally helped you. I forget. No, I don't. I don't forget. I remember everything because I have notes. Okay. One of the reading ideas that I thought tied into this was the machismo concept, because um like the machismo like idea is shown a lot through Antonio's father and his older brothers, and a lot of the other men in the movie, because well, like with the brothers and the dad, kind of like they've always been like, it shows they've been very like want to be independent, like on their own, and like oh, like they say a lot like when they want to do this stuff, it's they're forsaking their mother, and so like his brothers, they leave, and then Antonio kind of goes against that like general like machismo idea, as he's definitely more sensitive as he is like being taught by Ultima, and like thoughtful about the world around him and processing everything as like Ultima says. And then but yeah, like throughout the film, like Antonio like resists that idea of machismo, which is like shown so much in the world around him and like his influences, his male influences at least. Okay, and then the lived experiences, they help me understand the more spiritual side of the Chicanx culture, because I think like my general understanding was mostly that it's like everyone's just Catholic, but the movie shows like emphasizes that it's Catholicism and indigenous practices being tied together, which I do notice in my own life. So I was appreciative that it was shown in the film, and I think that's important to the Chicanic Studies course, because I think like in normal textbooks, not normal textbooks, but like mainstream textbooks, a lot of like Chicanic religion isn't shown, which is important to emphasize in this course, because it is a big part of the community, like with even like Levihan like being a very like prominent figure in the community. It shows that like the counter narrative vocab. And then this film challenged the idea that identity is something you just have. So basically, it showed me that identity isn't something you're like just born with and like you know who you are. It's like taking pieces from everyone and everything around you and like becoming your own person. Because Antonio, like, he picks and chooses like the parts he sees like are the best out of all the people around him. Like I'd say like his dad's strength he has a lot of, but then he's also like sees how people are being like mistreated, and he values that a lot, and I thought that was very admirable. Then to end off, my favorite quote from the movie was Ultima, and she said, "Good is always stronger than evil. The smallest bit of good can stand against all the powers of evil in the world." It was a very emotional movie. I loved it so much. But yeah, that's all I had. So thank you.